Welcome back, guys, to the ESL Pro League. It is NiP versus Dignitas on Mirage coming up next. Let's talk about that one. The man with the NiP scarf on the end here, we know which way he's shouting for this one, but that's a big ask, Matt, because Dignitas took down VP 16-5 on Mirage earlier in the week.
They looked a much, much better team on Mirage. Now, this will be the indication right away then if tonight's an off night or if terrain is just the off map, which I think is more the case. Their timings were very good. Their coordination on CT side was very good. They were willing to take risks on force buys and saves. Eco rounds on that CT side. We saw that push on mid to catch out Virtus.pro, and they weren't letting Virtus.pro execute very much. So I think that they've definitely got something in up their sleeve. And we also saw the roles a little bit shuffled. Rubino wasn't the main opera per se on Mirage for them, so it was more MSL.
I also think you made a really good point that Mirage for NiP, it hasn't been a good map for them historically. It's something they tried picking up at times even when they were still playing with Flare, and then as you said with Natu and Alu they started playing it more, but never had much success on it. So Mirage is definitely one of the best maps for Dignitas, so I feel that we're going to have at least a closer game than we had.
Yeah, I mean, Matt just hit it on the head there. MSL Orpin this time around, we expect. But Forest obviously seems to be the main op, but we expected it might fall to him. He certainly was taking that role over on Train. How do we feel that's going to fit in over on Mirage?
I mean, it depends. Dignitas state themselves, the MSL is not the opera of the team. They don't have an opera. They have he's the quasi-opera, picking it up when they feel they need to, and so on. So he might not even pick it up if they have a different idea. So it's going to be interesting to see. Forrest, as I remember, he plays the catwalk area, so that's a position you can be more aggressive with the op and not smoked off as often as you would be from window room.
Well, that's just it. We don't really know what positions they're going to play because obviously Alu is no longer there, so people could be shuffling around again.
Alu was traditionally in the window, and if Forrest is going to op and go toward the window, we have seen Get Right play on the catwalk before quite successfully, so there is a chance for that. I do like Get Right a little bit more in the A site. I think he's a little bit more aggressive. He's quite clever how he plays around the executing smokes and finds openings for himself, but if there is a role shuffle and Forrest goes to window, I wouldn't be surprised that you see Get Right on catwalk instead, which is actually a decent combo because Forrest is not necessarily the best operator in the world, is not necessarily going to hit every shot, but if he has someone like Get Right who's very good at reading plays and situations to support him, to pop out on flashes and smokes, that could still be a good 1-2 punch in the mid area for them.
So what are we expecting? Are we expecting a big T side from either of these teams? I mean, Dignitas started off so strong on the T side against VP.
I would expect good T-sides from both teams, honestly, because it seems that NiP did, introduce some new things to their game and so on, and Mirage is even a bit easier to play on the T-side than Train is. So, yeah, we don't know much. That's why this game is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it should be good to watch, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the game is about ready to go, although I'm getting a bit of a over from Lawrence. So we'll see whether it's ready to go, because Henry can take it away either way if Lawrence not set up. But over to you, casters. Henry G and Fancy.
I got this.
Crack on. The producer didn't tell me, so I ignore it. And then the host just calls me out. ESL. Solid. Sorry, you take it away though, Henry, because I've been told off. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the final map of this evening. NiP showing things that they can actually bounce back from the 2015 very disappointing season for them, but they actually come back on their train. 16-8 after losing both pistols as well. Very strong showing from them. We're going to Mirage next, Lauren. This is another very strong map for Dignitas, so still not out of the woods just yet. They can definitely. This is not a best of three. It's two single maps equate to individual points. We have got the knife round underway right now, so it's going to be Mirage. Dignitas looking for redemption. It didn't have any particularly strong showing on Train, it has to be said. Didn't really have any moments that really impressed me. Got 4-0 up in the first half, and then kind of game ran away from them there. So let's see if they can bounce back here. Who won the knife? I didn't even see. Did you see?
NiP.
So I assume they'll be staying on the CT half hit. You would assume. Let's see how the buy goes down. We are on the pistol round now. Dignitas will be purchasing up armor. I'd assume 2 sets of utility as well. Smoke towards the jungle steps, and then executing accordingly. I've actually got 3 smokes here, so let's see how they decide to go into this one. We'll have a look at the buy for NiP as well. 4 sets of armor of them, Freiberg on the kit, and 2 flashbangs. And it's looking like the bomb will be towards A as well. So these are the smokes I kind of anticipate. I think they'll be doing the 2 smokes, one of the steps, one in front of jungle, and then one towards spawn, and then trying to get the bomb down as quickly as possible. Maybe a nice open plant towards a ramp.
Well, here we go. It does seem as though the smokes have been put down. Forest instantly looking for the reflex off the back of it, but he's actually going to try and take mid control, which could have worked out, but Rubinho finds two. Pit and Forest both go down, and now suddenly, even without the players heading towards A, they're in such a good position here, Dignitas, with Rubinho doing such wonderful work, and now suddenly Freiburg surrounded on all fronts. What is going on with this game? MSL not able to hit the last shot then in the end. He did get his get bailed out by Config, and exists now 1v3.
Yeah, not really much footing into this one. Looking like Dignitas are opting to go back towards the B bomb site. Exist hit to frag this round. MSL just holding towards the vent area here. It's going to be, should be a clean kill for him. I don't think Exist will necessarily be checking it. As I say that though, he does, and does have something to work with now. Bomb is blind towards B, but still two players to find. We'll pick up the kid as well, so that's boosted his percentages a little bit.
Yeah, maybe going to try and get those flashbacks of that last map and how that pistol went for him then. Out of his mind, but here we go in towards the B site. Bomb is ticking. Config just holding by bench as well. He's going to be checked, and good connection from Exist here. One more bullet would do the job, but does eventually get it. But time is ticking. The bomb is planted for sure, and Rubinho should play this perfectly. He'd need the instant hit on that one. He didn't get the shot he needed, and Rubinho picking up 4 that round.
Yeah, I thought that would be a much cleaner exchange in that last one-on-one. Just needed to land one bullet. Exist coming off the bomb. Had he hit that single USB headshot, could have been devastating, but wasn't meant to be. And Dignitas will be picking up the pistol once again. That's 3 out of 3 for them. As we go into round number 2, it's going to be a full force by coming in from NiP here. They've got CZs, P50s, and 5.7s, and Pit with the Deagle. So a nice array of weapons coming into this. Not showing any heavy aggression just yet. We can see, get right towards the window, and you can see how passive Dignitas are being. They threw a couple of rounds away on train. It has to be said, as clean inside rushes, no smoke shoes whatsoever. So I'm sure they'll be making sure they don't make the same mistake twice.
This looks like an absolutely rinse and repeat, nice and clean A hit. But Forrest has got himself pushed up quite close here. He's just going to flash him in, and he actually gets the drop on Kirby. That's not a gun he can get back, but it's a great start here. So now bounds away and actually resets things, but NiP are all heading over toward B, barring Forest.
It's kind of interesting, the fact that Dignitas have no map control whatsoever. They don't know what's going on. They don't know if they've lost real estate here. They need to be acting right now. Here come the smokes, and you assume they'll be following in shortly after.
Forest is the one close just by dark. They're holding on the edge with the CZ. Deadly at this point, and showing you exactly as to why. That's 2 back-to-back, but Exist falling means that A is completely open. Smoke's still into position. That bomb could go down, but in CT you've got Pit and Freiburg. Could possibly boost above that smoke, maybe get a peek in. The ding comes out, a little bit of a reminder then, and danger certainly ahead as Freiburg finds Rubinho.
2 players remaining now, Config and Tensky. It's not the best plan in the world, but they're definitely workable from the position they're in. That should be the round tied up. Tensky doing some great work there. Galil there, and just get right with a CZ and 2 HP. Gets taken down as well. Tensky gets to serve the round. So it was Forrest who got flashed into the ramp, opened things up quite efficiently. Got his second as well. But Dignitas with the full execution. Bouncing back. Once the bomb went down, that was pretty much it for NiP. Did what they could. But ultimately will not be having much of a showing into this round. It's going to be an SMG buy from Dignitas. Only 2 rifles for them. And you can see NiP not really investing anything at all into this round, apart from a flashbang on Forrest. They stacked B last round. And they're looking like they'll be maybe looking to face towards middle. Forrest ready with the pop flash towards window. There's the flash. And here comes the face from mid.
Lovely as well. It's going to work out really nicely. Good work there from Pit and get right to get the kill. But all in all those 4 players just converging at the right time off the back of the flash. Now, okay, they only recover a Mac 10, but it's still damage done considering they literally only had a flash pretty much into this round.
Well, that's it. They've managed to get the Mac 10, but not really much else they can do with this round. You see they have got some control over towards Connector right now. Kiabi with the Mac 10 looking to do some serious damage here. That's going to be the first kill for him. Can he make it a double? And actually gets taken down by Get Right. Exists, dealt with by Tenskin. That's going to be the round done. Pit's going to be the last player remaining. 7 HP and just a USP. So 3-0 once again in favour of Dignitas. And NiP are going to be struggling next round as well. Won't have that AWP. Probably won't have any kit. Oh, well, actually Get Right is not too bad. So he could drop if he had to. He's the only player that could do it. So I guess he didn't invest as heavily as the others, but they won't be opting for the AWP drop here. It's going to be 5 rifles.
Okay. I was curious to see how much of a primary AWP and how much of attention maybe NiP were going to put towards putting Forest towards that early on. Other teams would have maybe taken that little bit of a hit on it, but rifles is more than capable in their guys' hands. But Exist going for the early aggression here, going to put himself down towards that underpass, but no one really going to be there. This is a very similar round from Dignitas. Again, MSL toward mid, and the 4 players towards A. But it looks like they're going a little bit faster off the back of this. Just going to be playing ahead of the smokes here. Straight out we go. They are not into place yet. Taking these fights head on is maybe not the most advisable thing right now. Freiburg at least found Tensky, but there's the exchange. Straight away coming through. And now NiP down to 3. And that's a Dignitas, but that bomb is being planted as we speak.
Well, it's going to be a 3-on-3 still, so definitely a big opportunity here. But that frag, Freiberg caught looking in the wrong direction. This is going to mean everything for Get Right. Manages to take down Kiabi and keep the dream alive here as they are on the full retake. Teammate coming in from Connector. The terrorist set up in a decent crossfire. Good news is for NiP, Rubinho is on 10 HP.
Kit's on Get Right, so that's down in CT. Exist does not have one, and Exist absolutely baffled as to where he's getting shot from. Then he will eventually find one, and the second is not to follow. And Dignitas rinse and repeating this A hit, slightly different tempo, slightly different pacing.
This is the thing.
And it works.
They're quite famous for this, actually. They do the smokes, and then they come out just as they're flying over. They don't allow them to bloom. They're hoping to catch the CTs with their grenades out and still kind of adjusting to what they're seeing coming in. It was actually Freiberg that picked up the first frag, but he was dealt with pretty quickly after, and it's going to be Team Dignitas going in 4-0. You can see NiP now back towards the pistols. It's a slight partial buy from them. They've got some body armor. Get Ryan Freiberg. Is this gone for head armor, surprisingly? He's up against 5 AKs. That's not going to help him out too much, but it's a nice pick from him as he does take down Tensky in that underpass once again.
And that's possibly recoverable as well if they do want to commit towards that, but there's Freiberg being taken down by MSL. He's starting to look to clean this one up as efficiently as possible, not give away too much, but there's a lot of players looking towards Connector here, and Forrest just goes wandering through the smoke, and it doesn't go particularly well for him. It's now down to those last 3 players. NiP just looking to maybe catch anyone off. Rubinho should get the drop towards Get Right at that sort of distance, but then again, timing does become everything at this point. There's 3 players from the T side in towards Connector, and they're all about to walk out, and there's Rubinho. Nice timing from him to play through it. Clean pickup from MSL there towards Pit, and it does just leave Exist.
Yeah, not really much hope for him here. If he can pick up a weapon or take someone down with him again. He was the only player that fracked this round in the underpass area, took down Tensky, but it's going to be another clean round for Dignitas. And money kind of stabilising for NiP now. They could get the AWP out because he exists just shy of 6k there, kind of considering his options. Will he be dropping the AWP? Or will he be going with a rifle as well? Going for 5 rifles once again, trying to make sure they have enough equipment going forward. They have got 5 smokes and some incendiaries as well. And it's been a very A-based mentality for Dignitas so far. Let's see what NiP brings to the table this round. Nade's going towards the top and middle through the smoke. Not going to land any massive damage here. MSL has made it towards the mid boxes. And Pitt backing him up from short as well. So mid control trying to be obtained here from the Danish side.
So a little bit of an adjustment too, bearing in mind. It's normally been maybe a 4-1 split with MSL only being player in mid here, but you know, having the support, should be able to do some serious work here. You can see already the commitment towards short coming through, but it's Config and Kievi to find the kills very quickly in this one. Get Right is the player on towards B. Exist is about to be pressured in towards window, losing complete control of mid, and now it's all down to these 3 just to be singularing out on these bomb sites and key positions. Exist finds a great kill towards MSL though, as he does peer through towards ladder room, but it's Forrest trying to take the advantage, gets someone down. That's one of the prongs of attack that Dignitas were depending on, and now taking the time, and Get Right is going to hear every step of that.
Seems like Dignitas maybe overthinking that situation a little bit too much. They get those first 2 great frags there. It was kind of signaled they were going towards B, but they had so much control and so much advantage in terms of the timing getting to the bomb site. You can almost guarantee there'd only be 1 player there. And they decided to slow down, completely change their mentality. Went back towards middle, and Exist and Forrest have got them back into this round. So 40 seconds remaining, and he's looking like they're going back in towards an A attack here. This is probably the right response. You can see Forrest up in towards Palace. But that's actually a really strong position for him. The terrorists don't really have much to work with, so going in with 25 seconds remaining, looking for this first kill.
Kievi's push through, but that's not who was interesting. Actually, Get Right gets found first. Now Exist and Forrest have to play this absolutely perfectly. No one is looking towards Forrest. He's going to get the first. He's going to tag up the bomb site player, which was Tensky. Now the pinch comes in, but it's down to Kievi in the 1v1 up against Exist now. And around the world we go. Kievi's going to take the long route. Where's that bomb planted for?
It's full Connector, and that's going to be the shot. He's been discovered. Unfortunately, Exist unable to land the headshot there. Going for the fake defuse. He'll be just jumping around that. Perfect play for him so far.
Well.
Oh, it's actually a full defuse coming in right now. Oh, it's going to be close.
1 second.
Super close. Oh my god, so the Molotov there was a lovely idea, but Exist definitely in with a shout taking that one. Unfortunately, wasn't meant to be. It was Forrest up in that Palace area, did so much damage there. Unfortunately, they did just get the bomb down just like within the nick of time, and Kiabi coming with the 2-on-1 clutch, stepping up massively, and you can see how that's affected the money going forward for NiP. They've gone in for a force buy. MP9 or Forrest, Get Right on the Mag 7, and 2 Famises from Freiberg and Pitt. So another mid-focused round as MSL to open things up again, rips the head off Freiberg there, and it's the disadvantage towards the Swedish side once again.
Dignitas bringing out the A game. We asked the question, can they step up into map 2? Will It'd be a 1-1. We could see a 2-0 in NiP's hands. No, this is looking like Dignitas have turned up now. This is the map I wanted to see, and NiP not yet maybe to get to full grips with the issues that they certainly had prior on this map, but still. Dignitas again taking mid here. This is what they did before, and it worked out pretty well. They almost got a little bit close on that, but in the end it did work to their favour, and it looks like they could go either side at the moment. Tensky's still by B if they get a pick there. You've got Rubinho in towards Palace, that's no surprise, but Exist has put himself closer towards the site. Forest pushing towards ramp. And now Forest waiting to see if there's anything coming his way, but Exist is playing a dangerous game. No one's actually watching Connector, so got to be a little careful here.
We have got Config up in the ladder room, drops down as well, so I would have heard that. I would assume, and he actually is the one that gets taken down. Maybe he didn't. The Config opens it up. Exist, he's been fragging sensationally so far, unable to convert those into round so far, but he gets his second of the round, and it's going to be 3-on-3 right now. Forest and Get Right with those lesser weapons. Actually, Exist doing some serious work here. A 4 kill of the round. It's just going to be Config remaining now. He's the one who takes down the Danger Man, and that's actually one of the biggest scouts he could have taken in the context of this round, because of an MP9 and a Mag 7 rename.
And it was Get Right's flash then that completely blinded Exist and denied him what could be an ace and what could be a hugely critical round. Now, Forest took the long road, but there we go. Get Right will step up to the plate and get the job done, but huge play from Exist. Kind of baited out Forest on ramp a little bit, like fell back, took the time off the back of it, sure, and then he delivered. So that's all that matters. As long as you come up with the goods, it doesn't really matter how you get there at this point, as they did desperately need a round. It's the first one on the board.
Well, there it is. They still lose 3 players, so they need to reinvest into this round. It does stop the loss bonus coming in. This is a massive round going forward. NiP need to make sure they win this. It'll be a double eco coming in. You can see they've gone down to absolute 0 here. Replay on your screen right now with that fantastic work from Exist.
I'll tell a lie, it wasn't Get Right's flash. I was blaming him.
Stop lying.
Henry, when did you become this guy?
It's just
be so
it's
nice.
all fun.
Oh.
It's a bit of horseplay. You know? We like to have fun sometimes, Lauren.
I've never owned, I don't know what you mean. Fun doesn't, you know,
okay, let's
come
go
into my
super
job.
serious.
Super serious. This feels very pressured, Henry. 3 players going towards B. Finally, Get Right and Pip might have a bit of action towards this one. 2 players up towards short. Dignitas yet to really test the waters over here, so it's the first time they're actually going to be going for this, if they do.
Well, they have got the B split coming as MSL going really aggressively up towards short. Freiburg and Pick getting the first frags, but they're quickly taken down, and it's 3-on-3. Actually, it's Get Right. He's still lurking on the bomb site. He gets dealt with as well. It's a 2-on-2. Bomb will be planted. You can see the CTs pretty far away from the situation. Forest coming towards the kitchen now. Bomb planted for short. Great setup for the T's. It's going to come down to Exist once again. Can he continue the great run he's had so far? He can. Takes down Kiabi, and this should be a successful retake coming in for them. He spotted Config behind the bench area, but he's losing quite enough damage, and Forest finishes things off there. So a massive round, a must win for NiP. The full reset would have come in, and it's Exist with that wonderful shot from short to secure the round.
Please just pick up what you've got there. Just checking around, I can imagine, see what was on the board and on the plate for Dignitas. Oops, for free. Yet to see one being really featured for NiP. Have we actually seen them pick one up yet?
They actually haven't, no. They could have done a couple of times, and they have decided not to.
Okay.
So, interesting stuff so far. 6 plays 2, NiP bouncing back here. They did have that massive deficit on train, and they came back and actually won the half. So, no reason why they still can't do that. We go into round number 9. It's going to be Rubino. He's feeling the pressure a little bit more. He's just got a CZ. And they have been playing much faster rounds, getting up short very quickly there. There's decent exchanges from the CTs. Kept them in the game, and Get Right finding one as well. And a good clutch from Exist and Forest to finish the round off. Another big round here. Was a full investment from NiP to get themselves back on the board in terms of the equipment.
There's a hell of a lot of attention actually coming out from NiP towards mid now. You're going to have Freiburg adjusting. Pitt's already got himself up towards ladder and kind of pushing himself off of that B side. Get Right's pulled himself closer towards short. And Dignitas still utilising the smokes well, trying to get themselves infiltrated through into better positions at this point, but see what they can make of it. Flash comes out, going to look towards Connector. No one can see a damn thing at this point, but Tensky's trying to look for options. Rubinho's waiting to go. It's going to be on to Freiburg to do the damage, but he gets completely flashed up here, and they are all piling up, but it's Config to get the kill. Exist again delivers. That's a lovely little 2-piece coming out from him, as now just in this 3v3, he has the freedom to work with Forest supporting from CT perfectly, and there's Get Right coming in towards jungle, and again, I've got to say, it Exist being let off the leash here a little bit finally.
Yeah.
And you can show exactly what this guy can achieve.
14 kills with him, looking very strong indeed, getting 2 frags almost every single time with that A-bomb site. It was a fast connector play from Dignitas, flashbang coming over as Freiburg, who got the flashbang completely in the face, but Exist came in to save the day, and a nice flank coming in from Forest as well to back him up. Dignitas now finally been broken in terms of the money. They're going to be on to Desert Eagles and Tech 9s. Just a flashbang to work as well, looking like they're going for a simple contact B play here. And this will be, as soon as they're spotted, going to burst into the bomb site. That smoke's maybe going to slow them down, though.
I do like the adjustment, though, from Get Right. Putting himself all the way back towards Kitchen. Giving up the site to some degree, but doesn't want to just take these deagles and these pistols lightly. Then again, it leaves Pitt in a bit of a bad spot here. Leaves Pitt out on his own towards short. He gets picked up super comfortably, and that could be a gun back into the hands of Dignitas now. Bomb down. This is not going well. Rubinho's having an absolute whale of a time. That's 2 kills back to back, and the damage comes in again, but Freiburg at least hits the shot. But there's Kievi with that deagle. Suddenly the rifle's back to play towards MSL, but they're keeping this one to check. And this config can do some of that deagle magic and just about controlled by Exist in the end, but you've got to start worrying when you get taken down to one final player in a 1v1.
Yeah, that was kind of scary, right? They didn't really invest that too much into that round, just that CZ doing some absolute work. It was Pitt that got dropped first without a single return. Retake was very difficult indeed, but Exist stepping up once again, gets his 16th frag after 10 rounds. And he's firing on all cylinders right now. And that's actually 4 in a row for an NiP, so definitely bouncing back after the initial 6-0 deficit. Still not picking up an AWP. Money still isn't a fantastic situation for them. All these rounds coming down to these 1-on-1, and they are just about holding on by the skin of their teeth.
It's just having that huge swing up in form here. Certainly assisting towards that A side that they were consistently losing earlier on. Forrest just getting a little overwhelmed with it, so great adjustment coming through. Freiburg holding mid now, a little bit better with Pitt as well, but Dignitas yet to get that full play through, and it looks like they're going to try and just pick up the pace here. And Freiburg, again, completely flash, unable to deal with it, but Forrest this time is completely blind. He's right next to them. He can only find one in the end. And now the trades go favourably towards Dignitas, leaving the last 2 players stuck in between a rock and a hard base. Before Exist again, last man alive on this site at least, and it's perfectly handled.
He gets another 2 kills to actually secure the round. He's like the last player alive. He's like, Freiburg seems to be getting dropped as soon as they come through that connector area. It doesn't seem to have much impact whatsoever. And as soon as Exist is just left alive, you just know he's going to do something with it. Staying patiently beneath the shadow area there, takes the bomber down, gets the second as well, secures the round. It's him and Forrest really are leading the charge. There's a replay on his screen right now. Such influential kills. And it's Get Right to finish things off there as well. But there we go. Dignitas unable to get the bomb down there. It's actually full loss bonus for them now, so you can definitely get AK-47s going forward. You can see Exist so confident right now, spraying through the smoke. Doesn't manage to land any shots just yet. But once again, Dignitas going for the similar mid-play we've seen. Is much more aggression with the Seeds this time. Freiburg's dropped down towards middle. It's going to be a flurry of frags coming in for the Swedes. Freiburg and Pitt picking up one each, and now they can actually justify falling back and allowing the Danes to answer back here.
I actually like that little bit of a switch up coming out from Freiburg then. He was struggling, to be fair, in window, in connector. Well, all right, let me see what else can I do here. All right, let's pressure mid. A little unfortunate for Dignitas, obviously, at that point. MSL and Kievi have been absolutely fundamentally brilliant playing through that, but now Get Right's could be the one on the verge here with Pitt, holding into this B side. Tensky and Config both around. Rubinho's a mile away from this. He's still over by A Palace with Freiburg and Forrest still watching, so you're going to see the peak come out. And actually, Tensky gets it towards Pitt, but the flash is perfect. Pronax, the one who kind of came up, or at least came to the forefront with that one, and Config burning alive, eventually gets put out of his misery by Exist. But, oh well, words are hard. Handled round.
It's not like you're paid to talk for a living or anything, so don't worry about it. It's fine.
I tried to be so nice, Henry, and this is all I get.
I'm just in a mean mood today, I guess.
Yeah, apparently so. It was all that gin last night. It just made you a little bitter.
I don't drink.
That's a lie.
Anyway, we saw a nice aggressive mix of a play there from NiP. They went forwards middle, flashbangs coming over, Freiburg jumping out of connector. They find the first 2 kills, and it's a lovely setup towards B. That boost up on the side from Pitt, spotting footsteps for Get Right. He does the perfect flash, and they secure the round. That's 6 in a row now. So it went from 6-0 to 6-6, and now we have Dignitas onto yet another partial buy here, just with Tech 9s, smoke grenades, and some armor as well. This would, for me, would spell out an A-sided attack. But they've got 3 players on underpass right now, so that's a huge grenade, does a lot of damage, and Exist getting valuable information as well.
Yeah, Freiburg being put towards the side this time, so adjustments again being formed here by NiP, not just going to be sitting back on and resting on their laurels. It looks as though they're dealing with this one perfectly well and not losing a singular player. Really nicely done in the end, and Pitt picking up a couple, finally going to buff out that scoreboard for himself. It's been a little bit lackluster, to be fair, but then again, they've started to pick up the rounds and start to deal with Dignitas. He hasn't had too much to handle, to be fair. Very few B plays coming through without Get Right.
He's been on the retake a lot of times, and coming back to the bomb side. But finally, Dignitas do get another full buyback on the board here. They've got 5 AKs, no AWPs. It actually exists. Uncharacteristically picking up the AWP, so let's see what he can do with it. Does almost take down MSL there towards middle. It's going to be Forrest keeping the aggression up. Double kill from him towards the A ramp, and Exist does take down MSL, but finally Dignitas do answer back, but they are a man down here on the A site.
Alright, Exist, what do you have? How much more can you give At the moment, just kind of roasting alive. That's not too much, but it is down to these last two players. Tensky's yet to get towards the site as well. He's got the bomb to hand, so smoke's down towards jungle. You've got CT being held, so he's relatively safe in this one, unless someone went on a crazy push through smoke, which no one's going to do. And it's retake time now for the CT side. Every player has a kit. They've got a hell of a lot of utility to clear out all these corners. So T-side going to try and take the turn here, and Pit gets the lineup, and he gets down both. And the defuse will come in nice and easy.
Obviously, Dignitas didn't really have any footing on any part of the bomb site there, so they needed to swarm something, get some control. Went for the flashbang and CD spawn. Pit dodges it effectively and gets a double spray down. That's very efficient kills from him, and actually keeps 3 players alive for NiP. 8 in a row now. Dignitas feeling the pressure once again. Very similar scenes to what we saw on Train. Great start from them, and this seems like once NiP get their heels stuck in and start to stabilise their money, they have really come to life. It exists keeping the AWP, as I said, uncharacteristically. We don't really see him at all in the previous iterations of NiP. Sometimes picks up the auto sniper, but that's about it.
Maybe he's their new main AWPer, who knows?
I definitely don't think so, but it's a poor smoke towards the top and middle, and he will get some sort of vision on it. Forrest, on the other hand, takes down Rubino once again. He's been so aggressive on that A ramp, gets another pick, and now then exists looking towards underpass. Getting some back up towards the top and mid, because that's where Dignitas actually are.
And there's some terrifying confidence to stay out here at the moment, but he's going for it. Flash comes in, and I guess if he's feeling the play at the moment, he's going to just run with it. But it's MSL to find Freiburg, so that's his support system gone down, but it doesn't seem to matter. He finds MSL anyway. Pit comes in from short, and suddenly it's not looking so good, but at least for Config and Tensky, they're finding kills to bring it back to this 2v2.
So 1 minute to play with as well. Forrest and Get Right up against Config and Tensky. They don't really have any sort of information to work with the T, so there's going to be apartments here. And Forrest coming in from underpass gives his hand away and brings it into a 2 versus 1. So much time to play with. The mind game's about to start. Get Right needs to work out where he's going to position himself going forward. Decides to go in towards the underpass himself. So this could work out very nicely, you know. Like he'd have a full backstab coming in. It does, if he does commit to actually going in towards B.
Alright, Get Right. What have you got here? Config and Tensky are taking their time. They are being super cautious about this, and
I'm not sure if he spotted one of the butts.
Oh, he's going for
the T's, but I don't think he did.
A fake flash towards me. He definitely didn't, but you're going to hear the plant noises coming. You're going to hear a couple of footsteps now and then. But this is going to be an awkward retake for him. They're not actually keeping this in mind at all. They are completely positioned for a push coming down short, maybe towards kitchen, but the longer he takes now, the more they're going to start considering, okay, where is he? Well, there's the first one. He doesn't get the clean shot, but he does get it off in the end. And now he's got to know where the remaining player is. Fakes it out, waiting patiently for Tensky, and Tensky goes on the peak. He gets the tag, but he backs away. And oh, the great timing from Tensky then to take the fight. Get Right caught with his pants down, or I guess a grenade in hand. And just well done.
Yeah, it's a difficult clutch, right? Because they've done such an open plant. It's very difficult to even have a footing into that clutch whatsoever. He manages to get one with a decent backstab from the B apartments, but it was a really nice face from Tensky. As soon as the fake defuse came in, you would assume like Get Right would go back onto the fake defuse. He pulls a nade out. It's just a really good read from him.
Yep.
And it brings them finally, after losing 8 in a row, they get number 7 on the board. So it's a big round for them to win, but NiP actually winning the first half there on the CT side. So that's, I consider the deficit they had. I think that's not bad at all.
Yeah, good little turn up. But for Dignitas, again, looking pretty solid here. Comfortable at the moment. I think once they got into the swing of things early on, I'm hoping they can find their form a little bit in the second half. I want to see NiP kind of push a little harder on their T side. The T side then again did look very nice on Train, but I don't know if you can really transfer too much between these maps. But then again, the core dynamics and the fundamentals will always transfer. But it was Freiburg who stood out to me as well with his entries. He was actually on point.
Yeah, well, for me, the MVP has to be exist of this first half. The fact
100%.
that what did he finish on? It was like 24 frags or something after the first half. I don't really have it,
ridiculous.
but it was just like every single time they're on the back foot, he found 2 kills by himself. Was just so effective on the A-bomb site. Big in some clutches as well. So I feel like Dignitas feeling the heat a little bit. Let's have a look at the second half. Pistol buy here coming in, and will be NiP switching over. We'll see what they'll be purchasing. PT50 drops. And NiP actually do this quite a lot, they can drop a couple of PC50s and then just have one player on smoke, and it means they boost the gunpowder. It's not like a raid boss, you just have one person who's got the upgrade. It's a couple of guys who can have armor and PT50s. And that's going to be Forrest on the PT50 this round. Actually only a singular this time, but flashbangs and sets of armor. Let's see what they decide to do there.
So Forrest going to be holding the rotate in mid if they do go for a straight up B hit, but not to be the case just yet. Bomb is being left back in the apartments. A couple of players toying with underpass, and MSL getting a little bit ruined early on. Not ideal to be down to 2 HP, but look at Config going walkabouts. He just turned at the wrong second, and Pit will pick up the kill. Opening up this B bomb site, and look at the pace coming out from NiP. They are pouring into this. They've now spread out the player towards short as well. Tensky's position duly noted. The fight, the challenge comes through. Get Right finds MSL, and the site is looking more and more clear at this point.
Really weird decision for Config to push into the B bomb so early on into the round. They haven't really gained any intel whatsoever. He drops, and like you said, they make their way quickly into the bomb site. But Rubino, though, coming to life, he finds 2 kills and suddenly makes this realistic for the CTs. Well, that definitely doesn't. Trying to build some romance here, Lauren. That's like trying to make it feel like they could have done something with that round, but unfortunately, Rubino's efforts were flattened. So there we go. NiP gifted a kill towards his B apartments to kick things off. It felt like that was a very early decision for them to be pushing the B apartments. Can be a very effective strategy when it's a kind of mid-round. A couple of kills have been exchanged, and they've showed heavy footing towards middle, but there it is. NiP finally winning their first pistol this evening. 1 out of 4.
That's a very good point. They have been a little bit lackluster on it. That's the only thing they've seemingly been lacking, but then again, you know, they've been able to bounce back well enough, so I guess I can't really give them too much stick until it becomes a real issue, which may be down the line at some point. But for now, confidence keeping them through in the gun rounds, and we'll be seeing a little bit of a mid-touch coming out from MSL. And there's the swing out, doesn't go too well, and the Deagles and the CZs will be put aside, and not a piece of damage placed towards the NiP boys, as they do take a little bit of their time here.
Not a full force here from Dignitas. Just going to have Rubino on the CZ and head arm, and the rest of the guys just getting some Deagles, trying to keep the money a little bit more honest. It's a 5-on-3. Should be a 5-on-2. A big struggle from Exist, and actually gets punished as well. So a little bit of a whiff from him, but does get taken down by Get Right in the end. It's going to be Tensky and Rubino remaining now. Bomb making its way towards the B apartments. You can see the CT's kind of sticking together towards middle. That Deagle and Tensky could cause some damage from short, but let's see how this one pans out.
Forrest peering in, already has the angle towards short. That's Tensky down. He took a lot of damage for it, but kill nonetheless. Bomb planted, 4 in sight, and already Get Right expecting maybe a play around the back, and Rubino maybe looking to see if he can get anything out of this one, get in a position to catch someone on the way out, but I doubt Get Right would let him get away with that as he is closing in. But then again, let's see what position they end up in and see if Get Right's expecting this.
So Rubino, the last man remaining. Bomb is ticking away. NiP about to get the double figures here as well, but Get Right is ready. Does take a headshot, but finishes off Rubino there. We'll have a look at the money for the CTs. This is supposed to be a pretty much full eco coming in from them. Don't really have much to work with here. Could get a 5-7 on Kiabi. We'll see whether they go for a push up middle, maybe a stack towards B. Let's see what they bring into the table this round. You'd assume NiP are going to take this very slowly indeed and try and work out where this pressure may be applied.
Get Right did have a decent enough spawn to A. I wonder if he fancies his chance. He does only have the SMG, so no, backs away, just chills it out. And again, as you said, taking it cautiously. Don't know what Dignitas are doing. You don't know what they're coming up against. You can see instantly keeping their eyes trained towards that mid push up, bearing in mind that MSL did end up flying up there. Then Kiebi tried his luck as well. So, well worth keeping in mind. And we do see that Dignitas do like to do this, gain that knowledge throughout the map as best they can. But so far, a very slow and patient NiP coming to this one. Get Right being given fair bit of freedom over towards A. He's just been wandering around trying to get anyone out of spot. There are 3 players over there, but pretty far away by this point.
Not really much to report. CT spread out. That's going to be the first pick coming in for Forest. He does take down Config towards the B site. I assume he was jump shooting. And we'll see how the CT's react. See, they've got 3 players stacked towards A right now. This will be a matter of time before NiP will be closing this round out. Get Right solo towards A. Just trying to show his hand there. A couple of smokes coming in. Get a bit of attention towards that side of the map, and that's going to be a lot of it as he gets the first kill. That's going to take him out by Tensky in the end, but that's going to be signalling the rest of his teammates to go in towards the B-bomb site.
Oh, lovely as well from Forrest to find MSL, just waiting ever so patiently on the side, but can't get much for it, and the bomb not yet to go down. So hands a pin, just waiting to see if anyone poured through, see if there's anyone to challenge it out, actually. As Kiebi will just kind of walk into Exist. And Tensky, last man alive, he did recover the SMG, but I doubt he's going to find much with this one, as only Exist is really towards short at this point, and he's looking so readily for a chance. And actually gets a good connection then, but they're going to go for a couple of jump shots, and he can already hear the footsteps closing in, and NiP are desperate to punish all of the Dignitas guys here as Pit is just round that corner. Pre-fire comes in, but Pit gets the kill. NiP getting themselves up a nice amount of rounds here, and Forrest being another player who's been consistently thriving as well with Exist.
Yeah, absolutely. He's obviously currently on 20 kills as well, so hitting into the 20s, looking very strong indeed, and he's picked up the AWP to enter round number 4 here. We have got Team Dignitas with 5 M4A4s. A little bit of a difficult buy for them, no incendiaries, but let's see what they can bring to the table this time. A couple of kits to work with, and we can see Rubino making his was going to go towards connector before he got Molotoved out.
Oh, this is going to be big. Forest straight in on the peak here, expecting for the jump up, maybe the peak from the side of the van, and tags up Config. Lovely little hit, but then they just whizzes past and still looking for more. He might need to readjust here. 1 minute and 30 on the board, and the kills are starting to come in favour to Dig, but Pit through the smoke just finds one out of nowhere, but MSL gets him a little better off here. And there we go. Finally, the pinch comes in from Get Right, playing through that Palace position. And now 3v3. Bomb still over by the B site. Things should settle down soon, but then again, Tensky wanted to get the peak.
Config was that player who got tagged at the start. He's gone down 23 HP. And NiP still with plenty of time to work with as well. No smokes, but they have got flashbangs and a Molotov. We'll see what his side is going. Interesting enough, they look at Kiabe. He's pushed down the lower ramp here. He could be the thorn in NiP's side here. He pushed up. He's quite an advantageous position, but Forrest is ready. He takes him down. That should secure the round here, as we've got Tensky and Config on the retake. They have no real control of the A bomb site right now. NiP looking confident as they make their way into the site.
Tensky would have to pull off something pretty incredible to really make a dent into this. Config already knows that as well. He's going to go around towards connector, see if he can hinder maybe a plant towards short, see any information, find anything out. The spray comes in from Tensky. He really doesn't get much connected. No, by Tetris. Forrest is just waiting, just going to adjust a little off the back. Exist waits to sight, and Get Right moves up for the kill. There's Config trying to close in as well. Two players going to have perfect time between this, and it's not working out. Exist already finds one, and he finds a second. Just again closing out these rounds well, as NiP's T-side starting to look actually pretty well-rounded. Yeah, they're just working a quite a simple game right now, biding their time, not rushing into any sort of commitments or decisions, working a pick. It was Forrest that got that leg towards the side of B, got the player down there, and there's this great actual teamwork and synergy coming in there as well. We saw the tag coming in from connector, Get Right ready on the flank as well on the A bomb side as the rotations came in. It was just a really efficient round for them there, and it's going to be detrimental to Dignitas going forward. You can see how that's affected their money. They've lost the first 4 rounds there, and it's going to be Desert Eagles and PT50s once again, and you can see how ready NiP are for this forward. Such a passive mentality, looking for any sort of aggression coming back to the top middle, pushing into towards the B apartments, not giving anything away right now. So far their anti-ecos have been pretty decent, to be honest. They've been playing the double stack up by the top of mid, just waiting to see people push up, which, to be fair, has happened on occasion, especially when we had this sort of buy before. A couple of pistols between them. But then again, we didn't see many of the later stages of this, see how well it worked out. Generally, they got the pick to start with, or at least gifted an opportunity to then work off the back. So I'm interested to see how they want to define getting that advantage. They have a lot to work with, still 3 mollies to hand as well. So plenty on the board. Still a lot of time here. You can see them making sure they don't make any mistakes. Want to keep the CTs guessing here. They're for a 4-man stack towards A. It's going to be poor old Tensky towards the B side of the map. It's looking like NiP are shifting their mentality towards an A split, though. You can see 2 players ready by connector, and the bomb making its way through T-spawn as well. So they'll just be waiting for the setup to come in, and you'd assume they'll be pincering the bomb site momentarily. Well, at least the stack's in the right place so far. They still have loads of smokes as well. They could do a full execution onto this side of the map if they wanted to. I'm curious to see how well Dignitas can actually deal with this one. It's going to be tough. You can see the smoke coming out towards stairs. You can see the little pop flash towards ramp, and here we go. It is time to get into the side, but there are 4 players waiting. Now, Kievi was the only one with a bit of armor. He was holding on that push up from connector. Now the last remaining 3 trying to keep their cards close to their chest. Rubinho shows his. He does finally get challenged out, but there's still a player waiting in the corner and back of the site. And there it is. That's Config turning up, and Config doing so much work. He needs to hit 1 more shot. He can't do it. Pit comes out, but if you don't check the sights and there's that 1 man lurking, so much danger could be up the thing. They looked really disciplined and controlled for like the first minute of the round, and then you saw NiP panicking a little bit. They were kind of walking over the way and realized they only had 25 seconds and they actually executed. It got really messy, and when you only have like 10 seconds remaining and you still haven't cleared the bomb site out, some mistakes are going to be made, right? And Config at the back there somehow comes out and takes the bomber down, unable to finish it off. It would have been an absolute abomination for NiP to lose that round, but they just about hold on. Another clutch going in their favor, but when it's round number 6, it's a stabilization of the money for Team Dignitas. Have got their AWP back onto MSL. Definitely not renowned as a world-class AWP, but it's more of a necessity that he's having to fulfill this role at the moment. But there it is. It works out for him as he takes down that first pick onto Pit, who's trying to make his way up towards short. Yeah, not been able to see too much of it on the CT side, so maybe a nice presence in towards these next couple of rounds. They certainly need a little bit of a deal breaker here, because NiP was starting to get a real flow to their game going, but at this point, Dig yet to really have to worry about too much, as they did get that opener gifted to them as Pit did just step out a little too far towards Sean. Of course, MSL will take that challenge readily, and there needs to be a little bit cautious here. Getting challenged down by Connector. Tries to get out of that corner as he does. Pop flash towards window, and Exist looking to maybe find a little bit of a challenge if he can, but no one's going to be caught out at this point. And again, NiP taking their time on these rounds.
Yeah, they're leaving the man disadvantage here, looking like they're setting up for another A attack. They don't have the smokes to work with this time. It's have to be more of a slow approach, walk into the bomb site, see what you can do here. And it's going to be Forest with the AWP. You'd assume they're waiting for him to try and open this up, but once again, 30 seconds remaining. Exist towards the middle, trying to cause a little bit of distraction here. Here comes the contact play now from the terrorist. Exist opens it up, and they actually have vision of the CT player as well. That's going to be Kiabi waiting, lying in wait.
It's such an awkward shot to hit. Forrest was considering it, but it's MSL who's keeping this round perfectly in check until then. Exist takes the fight. He's got 3 kills coming in for NiP so far, but he can't do any more. Now Forrest in the 1v2. He does have the P250, still great tag then, but now being pressured from both sides. The bomb is planted pretty perfectly for him. He needs to take one of those 2 fights, and he can't find the timing on it. Kievi is there, well handled by Dig in the end, and the difference that AWP made coming for MSL was massive.
Yeah, he picks up 3 frags. That's a pretty huge contribution going forward. They did do a decent showing on that 2-on-2. It looked like somehow Forrest could have done something with the PT50, but unfortunately, just the pincer coming in from the CTs was too strong for him, and he gets taken down. So finally, after 5 rounds in a row, Team Dignitas finally get around here. It's going to be 13 plays 8, but it's a full investment coming in once again. If they were to lose this round, Lauren, that's going to be pretty much GG at this point. They need to make sure they win this round. They can't afford to lose it.
Well, all right, MSL, can you do it again? I'm hoping you can find something here, because he was so big in their previous game, especially on this map as well. But then again, NiP just hitting the brakes, waiting to see if there's that touch of aggression, waiting to see if anyone's trying to do some crazy plays almost to try and tip the odds into their favour, but not this time. Both sides, knowing the weight of the value to this round, just going to be taking as much time as possible. And of course, CT side holding onto that utility as long as they can. Still a good couple of smokes, flashes, nades, and even a molly on Tensky. So eventually going to have to invest in this, but so far doing well enough. And NiP fully set as well.
No one really committing to anything just yet. You can see NiP holding towards the top of middle very patiently indeed. CT's making the same mistakes of pushing into B apartment, just to be holding back. And now this is the time to gain some control. Exist in towards the underpass. They are to smoke out window as well. Just going to be clearing out areas like connector and seeing whether any AWP is going to be a nuisance to them. It's going to be MSL smoked out for now. He's on the A bomb site. It's looking like maybe a B split coming in from NiP. They're setting themselves up quite nicely for it. 1 player holding connector, 2 in B apartments. The next frag will be coming in as Config, and hear footsteps coming for his way.
And Rabino's already pushed up towards the B site as well. There's very little vision or control there towards mid and short, or the B apps at the point we are at. But the boost is there, and I think Rabino's going to try and take the fight, but gets overwhelmed. Pit takes him down, but MSL has adjusted with the AWP. How much can he do? Config is still on the side itself, but NiP methodically checking it, and they do get full control in the end as MSL left a mile away, but still doing damage. But this should be 14-8 now.
He really needs to save this AWP at this point. As I said, this is a full reset coming in. CTs will only get $1,400 going into the next round. And after this, it's going to be 14 plays 8. They need to save the AWP. It's the only lifeline they have going forward now. So I would say as an NiP player, let's hunt him down. We can't afford to let him stay. Keep that. Let's just finish this right here, right now. Currently towards CT spawn. Looking for any exits he can. And you can see the T's don't really have any idea as to his position. So should be able to save here. After getting 2 frags, he definitely deserved it. Let's see whether he can hold on as the bomb is about to explode.
I don't think anyone's close enough. Freiburg did look for it in the end, but ended up checking down by ramp. And no one thought to look at CT, and MSL just about gets away with it. I guess you have to just give it a good try at that point if you're Dignitas and just excuse me if you're NiP. But yeah, this is pretty much, as you can see, the money there. Going to be a real tough round, and MSL is going to have to put the team on his back pretty much.
Well, he could have dropped a Famister as well, so that's kind of interesting. I think he had like $2,600, yeah, $2,700. I'm not sure why he wouldn't drop a Famister to kind of try and boost him up. It's going to be Forrest to open things up there. He takes down Kiabi, and it's going to be a 3-man stack still for Dignitas towards A. Pitts coming in towards Palace now. Rubino waiting for him in the CZ. This could be a very key exchange. If you find the first kill here, could mean everything, but it's going to be Pitt that comes out on top.
Yeah, Rubino goes down, but will they expect more players by Dark? Config just swings out on it. Tensky gets the kill, and there we go. Suddenly it's into a 3v2, and look at all the guns on the Dignitas side. NiP just doesn't get the hit they need, and now get right left reeling off the back of that. Great little stack from Dignitas, and you know, certain players like Tensky just pouring through at the right time, basically.
must-win round there for Dignitas. It wasn't actually the AWP that stepped up. It was the CZ players going in aggressive on lower ramp. And you feel like NiP have been so disciplined and patient on all the other previous rounds. This round, they decided to just walk into the A bomb site, get punished for it as well. And it's just going to be get right here. Not an impossible situation for him. If ever there's a man to clutch a 3-on-1, he'd be up there. Well, the bomb in hand towards middle. CT don't really have any idea as to where he is right now.
The thing is that Rubino is watching this. Excuse me, Tensky is watching this, but then again, as you said, it's get right, so there may be a small chance at this one, and now the two players polarized by both sides.
MSL pushing off towards short. We have get right still. He's made his way towards underpass. Time ticking away though, 25 seconds remain. You can see the CT's feeling the pressure a little bit. They're not together. Most teams in these sort of situations would be, let's stay together, let's make sure wherever he goes we can retake effectively together, but they've actually opted to separate here, giving him a real window of opportunity. Making his way towards the B apartments. Actually will spot the barrel, and that's the kill, and has plenty of time to plant as well. This would be an absolute shocker if Dignitas has to drop here. 3-on-1, worked so hard to get into it. Config has got a kit to work with, and an AK-47 as he comes through kitchen now.
GetRight knows exactly where he is. That flash gave away the game to a degree. Now GetRight just holds the angle, and he gets it. Beautiful stuff from the veteran. You said if there was any man who could pull it off, it would be him. And Dignitas, oh, you've got to be absolutely bitter after dropping that round.
They worked so hard for that, and like I said, they separated in that kind of clutch situation. Even if you're not going to play separated, play very safe. Like play in that kitchen area, I'd say. Like there's actually just make sure you've got a place to rotate effectively, and you can just spot him and call for your teammate to come in. Playing on short, I'm not really sure what he was watching there. There seemed to have no real consideration that B apartments might be a possibility, but there we go. This is potentially the last round here. NiP looking to finish it in similar fashion. 16-8 was on train as we go into round number 9 here. First pick coming in for Pit, and it's going to be him getting a double as well. Very nice work from him indeed.
Great stuff from Pit there. Now 5v3. Yeah, he still has the rifle though, so maybe he could find something. But again, looking flustered, frustrated. He's going to peek out and go for it. Can't get much done as well. I think Dignitas are kind of playing with the mindset that this one is all but done. As they're down to the last two players, Exist will find Config, and Rubino, the last man standing with the CZ. Sadly, absolutely no chance in this one. And there it is. Pit will close it down with the 3K and a great debut in the ESL Pro League from NiP.
Absolutely, 2-0 here today, and this is a new looking NiP. They seem like they've kind of done a lot of homework here. They've got a lot in their strategy book. It seems like they're being very disciplined in certain situations. I've actually been very impressed. Exist dropping a 30 bomb there on Mirage. Very impressive stuff. I think most of the guys hit into 20s. It was only Freiburg, who after having a very convincing train game, only got 8 frags total. But it doesn't really matter. If your team are winning 16-8, like it's not a massive deal. He was struggling towards that connector area. But there, NiP looking very strong indeed. And colour me impressed.
Yeah,
that was good.
I don't know what to say. I think Pit, I think we need a little more time with him to see how he really fits into the role, but it seems so far that it's more the composure that NiP is showing that's really impressed me. It's a massive difference and a great step up. I can't wait to see how much Threat can do with that as well, see if that's an addition they can find. But then again, this just makes everything so much harder in the Pro League for any other team who's not having a good day, because now suddenly not only do you have Dignitas who can play, you've now got NiP who've actually turned up a little bit. But then again, this is early, that's enough from us, but let's hear from the analysis desk.
Thank you very much, guys. What a way to end it there. A beautiful little 1v3 from GetRight. Or, I mean, you could say well done, GetRight, but you could also say what a disaster for Dignitas. Well, they were a bit of sea there.
It was obvious that there was some miscommunication going on with MSL watching
kitchen.
Kitchen. But I don't know why in that case they just don't. MSL doesn't just go big, enters the B apps and goes a bit forward, because he had time to do it. And the other player, I think it was Tensky, he could just go A apps. That way they can, play a safer position, and still if GetRight has to come into a site, right, to plant the bomb, and then they have an upper hand. But yeah, it was a good play from him in the end.
Let's rewind.
Some vintage GetRight and right there.
Absolutely. Let's rewind all the way back to the start, of course. It was a 6-0 start for Dignitas. They only got 8 rounds total in the entire games. Everything was going so well for them. And then it got to the second rifle round for NiP, and then Exist just turned it on.
Yeah, Exist was nuts. I think he played very, very well this entire game. We even saw him go to the AWP. He was feeling so confident at times. They get 18 kills when the rest on his team had something like 10, or the next best on his team had 10. As much as Exist did very well inside of that A site to buy himself some space multiple times, I think that Dignitas was also a little bit one-dimensional tonight. I don't think they went B more than maybe twice at best. in the entire first half. So it was a little bit predictable.
His ace kind of just going away from him. Wasn't flashed by Get Right at the end. We figured out.
This round, like this, just where Exist was the default side position. So
yeah,
Dignitas did their thing. They went for mid control, but they didn't have anyone coming out of A app. So when they pushed connector and ramp, Exist was untouchable in this spot. He could just peek left and right, and there was no one from A apps to trade with him. That's exactly why you always have a player going A apps on the T side, so he can trade with a player playing from site.
Yeah, and usually not only that, it gets even better because they can Molotov down from the ladder, which we often see, which means he has to get forced out and into a wide angle against the guys at ramp.
following round, he was in shadow.
Yeah. There was a couple of rounds that were very close, though. I mean, it was going down to the wire on a lot of them, a lot of one-on-ones, but NiP were just coming out on top in the duels mainly.
Yeah, they won a lot of those clutches. It felt like, Config was in that force buy round. He had a deagle and a couple of great rounds from them all around. It seems that they just look really good.
And you
really
spin onto NiP's T side. We saw obviously they won out the pistol, and then clearly a bit of homework done, because we were saying at the time, Dignitas, when they get those deagles on the second round, they pushed up like they did against Virtus Pro. They pushed up the top of mid and caught them off guard. And NiP just sat right back waiting for them.
I think that's the influence of threat.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because the NiP looked much more patient, I think, than they ever have in this game. And I think Henry highlighted a few times that they were willing to sit back and just wait to see what Dignitas was going to do. And I think that MSL's been relying a little bit on catching teams off guard with some aggression. And in this game, I think individuals failed to adjust in some ways on Dignitas, because once their initial play broke down, their default broke down, NiP ran away with a bed of rounds. And the economy favored them as well. They reset them late. I think they reset them in the middle of the half as well. So it was just the worst case scenario for their CT side.
Yeah, and they also had some good executes, getting that mid control, going for a B split, and you can see that Dignitas even had 3 players on B, so they knew it was going to be a B hit, but it's just that they lost control of Catwalk, they lost control of B apps, and at that point you're getting pinched, and no matter how many, even with 3 players, it's hard to defend from that, and they were on point getting all the entry kills as well.
One thing I want to go back to on the CT side is just to mention Pitt, because we haven't seen as much from him. He was in the B site, and initially, if you press tab and looked at his score, I think he was like 4 for 12 or something, or 5 for 12. I don't think that was representation at all of his play, because if you're only ever retaking a site, down a man, and there's no one coming to you on your site, you're going to look bad. But then all of a sudden, within 2 rounds, he had 3 kills and 2 kills. So he shut down B the time they did go there, that 1 or 2 times they did. And then on the next round, and actually, no, I take that back. He got the 3 kill actually walking out catwalk. So he was really good in his rotation and no mid needed support. And on the next round, they went A. They'd already shut down mid, and rather than going through mid, where it was already taken care of, he rotated through CT, which was actually quite smart, because it put him, again, in a position to clutch out with 2 kills. So I thought he was actually quite good at communicating and rotating. So
yeah, not a bad opening debut for him in the Pro League. And not a bad opening debut for NiP overall. 16-8 both maps. Are we all aboard the NiP train for 2016? What's going on here?
Nope.
I
mean, they are looking.
I'm suited up and ready to go on the NiP train.
They are looking solid, but I need to see more from them before I can call it really and say that they're back and they're a contender again. So yeah, so far so good for them, but still need more games.
Certainly a good fresh start for them, no doubt about it. Let's check out the results, obviously, as they stand from tonight. It was a pretty decent night of action overall. Na'Vi, of course, 16-9 and 16-12 over Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro, it's just been a stinker for them. The start of the Pro League has gone horrific, and they are almost out of qualification chances already just within week 2. Disaster stuff. NiP, though, started off fresh. 16-8, both on Train and Mirage. Looking good against Dignitas. Good stuff overall.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of... I just saw Taz tweets like work in progress, stay calm, which is, I mean, a good way to go about it. They are working on something, they're trying to change some things about their game, and that's a process which takes time. Obviously, their results so far are taking a hit, but I mean, if the final product is what they want it to be, I mean, it's just something that needs to be done.
The crazy thing is, too, like a team like that, we always say they show up on LAN. and they've been favorable enough to walk into the LAN situations and get into those situations because they're already pre-invited, so majors included. But now with this league meaning so much, they do have to address the online.
It's a $200,000 hit they've taken already. Basically, I mean that's not going their way. It's as simple as that. It's a bit of a disaster for Virtus Pro fans, of course. Let's check out what is coming up tomorrow night, and that will be with just Pansy and Henry G going to be taking it away. We're going to be on flight to Barcelona. It's going to be Flipside up against FaZe Clan, and then Virtus Pro. Well, work in progress or not, they've got to face Mouse Sports tomorrow, and that will be on Mirage and Inferno. That won't be an easy night for them either.
Definitely not. I mean, Mouse has been performing well lately. They even finally, I think they found a coach / in-game leader. It's NKJ as far as I know, but still, this might be a chance for VP, you know, to get a win, because on Inferno, that's not a map that Mouse Sports played a lot traditionally. They picked it up, you know, maybe just a couple of months ago, and yeah, might be a chance for VP to regain some confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys at home, don't forget, also there is American action. If you would like to tune into that, it will be in around about 3 hours' time. It's going to be Renegades up against CLG, and that'll be followed by Complexity versus Enemy. That is it for us tonight. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 7 Central European time. And don't forget, this weekend, it will be Barcelona. We will all be there. We're flying on a plane at 6 a.m. in the morning, guys. We're all hyped for it. We'll see you there.